peoples, welcome to the Stoked Bloke show. We're coming to you from the Pipeline Studios, courtesy of a New Earth project. Massive thanks to them for their mission to rid the world's oceans, rivers and lakes of plastics. And today, I'm the most nervous I've ever been for an interview because we have someone who is an absolute inspiration in the world of surfing, leading the pack, the one and only Michael Ho, Uncle Mike, as they call him. Welcome to studio. We're the only ones here. You can clap, PK. Come on, mate.
Barton's too nice, okay?
No,
yeah.
No.
He's never nervous.
I am nervous. I'm always nervous. I was nervous today.
No.
Mike, welcome to the show, mate.
Yeah.
You know,
I
love you, mate.
Love you too.
Yeah. What you bring to our sport and what your family represents, what you do day in, day out with your love of surfing is what inspires me today. And I wanted to kind of go back, talk to you about the start, growing up, you know, what life was like. That I was telling Uncle Mike about Chat GPT and how it has the answers to most everything there. Edmund was your father's first name.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And I don't want to try and pronounce the second part of the name because I would butcher that thing, mate. And it's amazing. Where is it? Where is it? That's Chico's parents. They're your...
Kauhilauli'i.
Yeah.
Kauhilauli'i.
Chico Ho.
Yes.
Your dad passed away when you were kind of young, Mike?
Yes, I was young. He was young too. He was avid squid diver. He was looking for his friend out at Queens, and he had a heart attack, and he came back, and they told him to stay out of the water, and he went back diving a month or two later, and it's kind of I don't know, they call it a shallow water.
Yeah, man.
So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was pretty young. I was like 24?
Yeah. And so you had to assume the role with your little brother. Let's pay our respects straight out of the top of the show. Derek Ho, Hawaiian World Champion in 1993. Your little bro called you Pops. We all call you Pops because you're a father figure, and we all miss D so much, but his legacy, what he left behind, the respect and the power that he still commands, and that you go out there and still and into the ocean every day and pay your respects in that way too, huh?
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks for the nice words for Derek, and we really miss him and think of him every day.
And that's, kind of started on the sadder notes, I suppose, with your dad Chico and the passing of your brother Derek. But there's a lot of good to now go and explore, 1972.
Yeah.
You go to those world titles, huh?
Yeah, that's where I met Michael Peterson, Rabbit, and lo and behold, I think they were alternates, and they didn't get in. And they were like the best surfers in the world, Rabbit and Michael Peterson, and I'm pretty sure that they both didn't get in the event. They were just alternates.
They're hoping.
They would have been right there in the finals too.
Incredible, mate. I was talking to Keone Downing a couple of days ago, and he told me a little story about that that gave me a good laugh. Hopefully it gives you a laugh. He said that you guys were staying. He was with Alden Kaikar. Yeah. Do the spinners, start to finish, and Uncle George is thinking it's in San Diego. So Uncle George Downing's the Hawaiian team captain or coach, and and looking after the grommets who are on this trip, and his son Keone's there. Alden's rooming with Keone, and you're the little grommet.
But yeah, that was a great time. 72. Uncle George, the Downings were a big factor in a lot of the kids surfing. Kainoa, his daughter. I miss Uncle George and everybody from the Downing family.
It's amazing to me because I have a wonderful connection with that family, and Uncle George shaped that board I won the world title on, and before that finals day, the board felt it had a really strong edge, like past halfway, and it was a bit sticky. And I came in, I was just feeling a little sticky. Uncle George goes, come with me, and we go over into the park, and he pulls out the sandpaper, and wet and dry, and spits on the rail of my board and just starts tuning it.
That sounds like him. Yeah. So, yeah, you had a good relation with him if you got him out there sanding your board.
Yeah, on a world title day. And I thought, well, how's this little Aussie get to the point, or be in this point where someone who he considers royalty, who is royalty, and in our sport, and he's caring about me. And I always felt like that about you, mate.
Lo and behold, like a lot of the shapers in Australia treat us the same way as George treated you, and it's still going on till this day. Australians taking care of Hawaiians, Hawaiians taking care of Australians, and yeah, everybody taking care of each other in the surfing world, which is really unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuri, and you know, that spirit, you lead that, and that was one of the things I was going to... Do you know that story about Duke Hanamoto and the 1912 Olympics in Sweden, Stockholm, right? The final's called, and Duke's not there. And I don't know where he is, but he's not there. And most of the field in that final are like, let's go, mate, we're a chance. Yeah. The king ain't here, the Duke ain't here. Run it. And there were two Aussies, Harold Hardwick and Cecil Healy, who were in that final. And they said, no, if we swim, we want to swim against the best. Let's wait for it. Let's postpone it. They postponed the final because of the Aussies taking a stand for the Hawaiian. Yeah, right. How good is that?
High five.
and so Duke arrives, they run the final, the Duke wins it, Cecil Healy gets second, and Harold Hardwick got fourth. He just missed out on getting a medal, but they were right there and they swam with the Duke. Out of that, they invited Duke down to Australia. He comes down to Australia, and that's how we surf.
Wow. See, they were doing something good for all you guys.
Deep,
for
long time
all the
ago.
surfers, yeah. Yeah.
That was at Manly too, yeah?
Yeah, and at Manly.
Your beach.
Where I grew up, mate. So much of that history and around the corner at Harbour. Yeah, and Rob Bain, and Richie Lovett, and Pam Burridge, and Lane Beachley, and Stuart Entwistle.
Never stops.
Hey, I'll keep going, mate. And George Pittar, and... Oh, mate, they're still coming too out of Manly. So that's, you know, but that was one of those things that I noticed early, you know, in meeting you and knowing you, was that you got on with all the Aussies. You guys were close. Are you an MP, Michael Peterson?
Yeah, I had some really good times, good surfs with him. Also, it's like, same for over here, the Downings, like, for me growing up in, they had a place in Makaha that we went to stay at sometimes, and the Blears family, Jimmy Blears, first world champion. He won the world champion in 1972, and that's when I got fifth, I think. And Larry Bertleman, fourth or something. That was a big time in surfing.
Yeah, incredible time. Yeah. That was the start. Things started moving.
And surfing in Macau, like a lot of the guys I grew up with are guys like. Sam Alama, Robert Cowie, Guy Pilago, all these, Craig Wilson, all these surfers that were, Bert Mylone, all these surfers that could have been in the tops, but you know, you lived on the west side. It was harder to get out and go to compete in other parts of the world and stuff. So I got really lucky, get to travel and start competing, because a lot of the surfers were better than I was, and they just didn't get to travel and stuff. So yeah, I was really lucky in that matter. The Downings helped me, the Blears helped me, the Bensons, Colonel Benson, you know, Becky Benson, Fielding Benson, Blanche Benson. Yeah, so I had a lot of help from families as I lived on the east side.
Yeah, you came from Waimanalo originally.
Yes, so yeah. I really liked to surf the North Shore and surf Macau. That was like my most funnest wave. Just nice turns, you know, you could do a lot. I always used to think I was in Australia or something, because it's like a real fun wave. But yeah, just growing up and with all these families that helped me get to where I am now is really unreal. And then just to see the kids doing what they're doing now, all the other kids, and to see my two doing what they do, is just like, wow. It's like, that's amazing to see that going down still.
Yeah, it's incredible that that heritage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And back to Duke Kahanamoku all the way through to now, to the modern day, where surfers are making $1 million. They're on big contracts, or they were. Who knows where it's at now? Because there's a lot of speculation about wages and how tough it is out there. But did you ever dream of this? Yeah.
Well, the same thing. Coming back to it, it all started with my dad.
Yeah.
My dad taught us all how to surf. He taught he was like one of the first Waikiki Beach boys. Taught taught him how to fish, how to surf, how to dive. He had a lot of good friends from California. He did the whole coast. I was born in San Mateo, California. My dad was on a roll doing his thing. Decided to hang out over there, and helped him dive for abalone. And he taught a lot of people in California, from Southern Cal all the way to Northern Cal, all the way up to Santa Cruz. He just did the whole thing, diving and surfing, teaching him how, making surfboards on the way. He was a surfboard builder, a diver. So my dad was the guy that led the path for everybody. A lot of the local people, and until this day, I still get people telling me about him and stuff. And he's a man.
He's a man, and you're making him proud, mate. His boys made him proud. You've got sisters as well, right?
Yeah, I got an older sister, 2 younger sisters. They all surf. My mom surfs. Everybody surfs, but some of them aren't surfing right now.
Yeah.
And a day at the beach was a day for surf, and I never used to like to leave it. I'd always go, one more. Just one more. And they go, you know how we did it? Every surfer, one more, Mom.
One more.
They're like, get in. Yeah, but it's been great.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a dream, isn't it? Is it a dream to you? Do you go, wow, did you ever think you'd be 66, 67 and still surfing pipeline?
I didn't really think so. I thought I'd pull out of pipeline. I said it 2 years ago, I'm done. I said I was going to be done at 60, and then you see a day where looks sizable, not too big, and you just get down to the bottom of the beach and you go, oh my gosh, it's bigger than I thought. I can't turn around right here. I'm already on the beach. You know what I mean? So it's like you just jump in and go out there and try to get one. All the big days and stuff, if I do go out, I'm actually looking for a medium right. So I'll let every left go by till I can find me a little right and get in and get out. But sometimes you just got to end up and go left because it's a west swell. So it's like, okay, I got to go on one.
We saw on the old Instagram, Uncle Mike doesn't look at that stuff, but we saw there you on a sick right, and then a really nice left two came around the corner, around the pocket, did a snap, flared that back arm like you do, and I was like, yes. So still getting, mate. I don't know if you understand what that means to everyone else and means to the sport in the context of surfing. What Kelly's doing, at 50.
Yeah, he's next level. He's doing a little more. He's doing gnarly stuff. I'm a little below him, but I'm still hanging in there, just getting out there and just checking it out. But,
you're doing gnarly stuff, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't get it
you
wrong.
You too, man.
No, but that scares me. That thing, and I suppose it scares all of us, right? We recognise the realities of surfing there.
Pretty much just paddling out at pipeline is a hard part, and if you got to swim in without a jet ski, all that stuff you really want to know how to do before you paddle out, because a lot of time it's not the surfing, it's the part about getting out and getting in. If your cord breaks, your board breaks, there's not always going to be a ski and always not going to have a lifeguard around, so better be on a little bit more.
Yeah, it's serious shit.
It's serious, and
it really is.
And John took it to another level, and everyone wants to follow, but there's only one John. You know what I mean? And so a lot of the kids are riding a lot smaller boards, and they should have a little longer one, even if it's not as long as we used to ride.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reason we rode those was to get out and get in.
Create the opportunity, at least
else
have
you
the
can't
chance.
even pass the shore break.
Yeah.
And catch one, but now they're just turning and turning around, taking off when I'm trying to paddle over it, and I just looking down at it, I'm going, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, but they got their shit going.
They got their techniques.
Yeah.
And if we
Very
go back
good,
to that, especially the backhand technique, what about the 1982 Pipeline Masters, where you've got the cast on the arm?
Yeah, well, it all started with Marvin and I think I got the right name, Wayne McEwen. Is that right?
Yeah, Wick-Wack, Wayne McEwen.
Okay, it was that back at Kira.
You appreciate
that
too.
Kira, Wayne, him, Guy Amrad. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a handful of guys.
Yeah. Stuart Cadden.
Yeah, Stuart Cadden. Yeah, a bunch of guys
doing that.
were doing it.
And then
Chappie,
Marvin, Ronnie.
Yeah, then Chappie. All these guys from the Hawaiians to the Australian. There was a handful that were doing it, and everyone just started getting the feel and started doing it. Now it's the thing that gets backsiders through barrels, is grabbing that rail and hanging on if you want to get a long one, and make it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these guys are doing it without grabbing their rails now. I'm amazed. Yeah.
Super deep.
Yeah.
It's crazy
It's
where
crazy.
they ride the wave, isn't it? And how late.
Yeah.
I remember paddling in. I haven't surf piped for about 3 years. With shoulder surgery, spinal surgery, now my hip, I can't even get up. There's no way I could get to my feet, but I'm scared. It's good to have a reason or excuse not to, right? Yeah. Because you said, everyone knows how it is to walk to the edge of the beach and then go, well, I can't turn around now, I better go. Not everyone does know how that is. A lot of people go,
here's another story. Walked down and I looked up and my brother was right there at the house, the Volcom house, looking at me like, you already went down. So I looked, kind of gave him a little nod. I went out. I don't know what happened. Probably just got not a good day. And then it happened again just about 2 years ago. All the kids are jumping in, so we all jumped in. And I looked and the outside was just closing out. I took 2 strokes, 2 paddles, turned around on the next to the whitewater, rode it right in, just got off my board, just looked the whole crowd on the beach, just... What's up?
Still proud, bro.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Later, guys. How's this one? Yeah. So I did do the turnaround, and I was kind of stoked because I went up, changed my clothes, looked at the whole place was closing out. The same kids that were jumping out were
coming back up the beach.
No, there was I don't know what happened to half of them, but yeah, pipeline will make you change your face real quick.
Oh, it's humbling and it's
it has different phases. You're right.
Yeah. Let's send a shout out to the McNamara's and particularly Mackay, given what happened with he a week ago now, and he's back home and he's doing well and he got through it. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Nephew, you call that? Kalar, Grace. We know so many people who've had situations
injuries,
that make you understand how.
Yeah, and this year especially, there's been a handful of injuries. Every time I'm at home and I hear an ambulance, I'm going, oh no, who is it now? And lo and behold, you always end up knowing who it is, because
that's how it is. The highway runs very close to our homes, and when the ambulances come down, we all sit at our homes and go, oh no, I wonder what that is, and you kind of get that sense of the ones that are going to pipe on those days, don't you? And as you said, it's always someone we know. So shout out to the McNamara's, Mackay.
Love you. Yeah, Mackay.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's healing right now, we love you too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it don't get any easier. Take it from the old boys.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of turning around and paddling in.
Yeah, and that's the respect you have for yourself for the moment,
yes.
That's one of the lessons I've learned about myself is I wasn't very respectful of myself.
You just keep on paddling out.
No, I'm just in everything, you know what I mean? Eating shit food, or I didn't think about much, you know what I mean? Just full steam ahead, and you.
Like we were just talking about is the microplastics in our body.
Yeah.
I just checked it out, and every person, I don't know at what age, you have a plastic tablespoon in your body. Some goes to your brain. It was serious. They were talking about it. They did some studies, and the doctors were showing pictures of dead people's brains with the plastic in it. At least it's half of what they say.
Yeah, guaranteed. And you can see it. How much plastic, how much stuff just around. We were talking on the way here when we did the podcast in the car um, about growing up without technology, without real television even, we would have both remembered that kind of coming into play, and then, through to mobile phones and that consistent engagement with the outside world. Gnarly.
It is gnarly.
Yeah.
They should do a few things to keep the children off it till a certain age, maybe till 12 or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, let's the segue into the kids. What about your kids?
Oh yeah, kids. All the kids are great. They help me out now. Now I'm working for them. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, it's been nice. It's kind of hard when you live with them and then they leave and they're gonna go live somewhere else. I kind of feel a little bit distant, but yeah, it's nice to have the children around. They're adults now, but yeah, it's just nice to keep everybody tight.
Yeah, you're a tight family, mate.
Just everybody in Hawaii likes to live together, stay together. The Monises, just all the families, Kealanas. Everybody likes this, good energy, being around each other.
Yeah. Ohana is the word for family.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And it's one of the things you realise when you move here is that, how's people bringing around fruit? I'll come home, there'll be a pineapple sitting at the gate, or, you know what I mean? And people, that sense of community and care, I suppose, here is the most dense surfing capital of the world, the North Shore of Oahu. How's it been living here, growing up here, watching your kids grow up here?
Moved out here to the North Shore like 50 years ago. That was 50 years this year ago. So I was like 17 when I moved out here. There's not too many local families that are around anymore just because the price of everything's so expensive. They end up, you can't even pay all the bills and just pay the mortgage. And
that's going on in Australia. It's going on around the world where the price of real estate's pricing the local people out of there. It's happened in Avalon, Palm Beach, Wild Beach, where I grew up. Now you see it here. So gentrification, I suppose, is the word for it. And it's good that people through surfing hang on.
You got to try your best, but between all the insurances and the taxes and land tax, house tax, just next thing you know, you're paying another $20,000 a year. Just to do that, you thought you bought the land and built the house and you're good, but you're not. Just to see some of the locals still trying and doing it is really good.
Do you think Derek would have been how great he was without you, and you would have been as great as you are without him, or is there those elements of a combo?
He would have been as great as he was no matter what. He's a great artist. Great everything. He could fix a car. He could do everything, He was good with his hands, so everything helps, especially when you got a brother.
Yeah.
And when teaching him, next thing you know, he's teaching me. You know what I mean? So just to, like you said, do that together has been really good, and we push each other. And it's like any brothers; they push each other.
Triple Crown wins across the board, the Duke Invitational. You won that XL Pro in 88, 90, 91, 96. You were at Sunset just pulling it on probably on a shorter board than most, and setting a trend maybe with your use of small boards at Sunset?
Depends. Sometimes I go bigger, sometimes I go shorter. But I do remember this one Duke where Derek was in the finals with us, and we went out there. I expected to do well, and came in. I was like, I do pretty good. And one of my friends, I don't know, they said, Derek did really good. I went, huh? So yeah, ended up Derek first. I got second. I don't know what year that was, but Derek he knew how to go backside as well as he did front side. He was like one of the originals that could do it on big waves and small waves, and he had a bunch of partners that he was doing a lot of the rail grabs with. It was Barry Mamiya, Barron's dad, Derek. There's his other partners, a couple, backhand barrel
Ronnie
right
Burns
into the-
in there?
Oh yeah, he was definitely.
was-
But yeah, he kind of pushed Derek a lot at Pipeline to get bigger, because there was a phase about 10 years that I just phased out. I was doing my own thing, wasn't even around too much. Just happens in life, and then Ronnie and him are just doing good things out here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
D was one of the first to be doing that pig dog that we were talking about, and someone who'd maybe perfected that better than any other goofy and used it more than anyone else did at the Pipe Masters, didn't he?
Yes.
He was able to go backhand and forehand better than anyone, most probably in the field.
He was one of the best.
Little bro.
Yeah.
Little bro.
Love that
mate.
guy.
What? Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
I know you go down there, surf, on your own and pay your respects and look after a little area in tribute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it always makes me feel better, and I'm gonna always try and do that, and
Yeah.
it just keeps me happy.
Yeah. What about the kids? I know they listen to you, right? A lot of kids, I coach a lot of kids, and the parents go, "No, you'd say the same thing. He'll listen to you. He won't listen to me." You know what I mean? It's odd, but Mason with the bigger boards at Pipe, we've all seen that he's listened to you and gone, okay, there could be an advantage here. When we were young, you had to win heats to not get a job, right? The only way to avoid working was to win heats.
Yes.
And so we
Yes.
were competitors.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a competitor?
Back then, you're right. We had to win heats to make a living,
Yeah.
and the way they're making a living now is very good, but it's just as hard, probably harder than winning heats.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff they got to go through, and filming and doing it a whole bunch, coming up in front of and talking. You got to go and do it, go and surf and do it, and come home and do it again, and then go on the computer and put it together, and you got a filmer or somebody, and they got
production,
It's a production, exactly.
Wow. Are you stoked that your kids get to live that alternative channel that they've created for themselves?
I'm really stoked that they got this channel, because they're really helping helping everybody out, and I'd like to say thank you kids, but
Looking
but with
after
stuff
pops.
like this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's all of that that's so good. And for you, surfing now, the surf you went for this morning, when you go, why do you go? What is it?
It's funny you ask, because I still like trying different boards and fins and fin positions, design. So I'm spending most of my time bugging the shapers, the glassers, the sander, the guy who puts the fin on. I'll be calling up, and all my boards are made now in California. And
Matty Biolas?
Matt Biolas. Yeah, thanks
Shout
a
out.
lot. Yeah, thank you. But I just call and bug them every other day, and if I'm sitting in the water and thinking something, I'm thinking how quick I can get to the car, get to the phone, get home, and just tell them where's the number. This is what I'm doing, and sometimes I go overboard. I'm not even changing. I've still got my suit on, and I'm trying to order something. So yeah, I get really psyched on surfing and designing and thinking about what I'm going to ride next.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I want a cord or I don't want a cord, or I wish they don't have cords, and just a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know Dad was a shaper.
Yeah, he was
That
very good.
explains a lot,
Yeah,
mate.
he's a shaper, glasser, sand, everything. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Derek got all his.
I
good
didn't
stuff.
know that. The hands, the
Yeah.
ability with the hands. Are you not too tooly? You're not too good mechanically and stuff?
Not too good. I try, but I'm not very. I looked at what I shaped once. I went, oh, I think I've just designed.
Hey, I am terrible.
Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
scared, like a power tool.
Yeah.
Like even a saw, I get scared.
A saw, I'm okay. Anything electric, I'm like, oh, let's pass it over. But yeah.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm not real mechanical in that sense. I had some Aussies
Yeah.
who I wanted to throw their name at you.
Okay.
And just see what you what you come up with. I've got so much stuff. Here we go. The first guy, because you were the Masters champion in 2000. You won the World Masters at La Fontaine in France with Elko in the lower division, and you won that and got your World Championship, right?
Yeah.
Then you had a final before that, though, with Terry Richardson.
So he's a man. Love that
What
guy.
about Richo?
He's a great guy, man. He's a competitor. It's funny you brought him up because I had him on my mind too, because he's stung me at a few places where you never can look over and think you're past something. Like I had this one in that one in Fiji.
Yeah.
Well, he got first, I got second, and they didn't.
He pulled a Swifty, didn't he, in the final?
Well, in the final, he didn't pull it. He
played it.
He played it. He played it right. Well, he paddled for a wave, and he didn't catch it, and they didn't switch the
priority.
Priority. That's when it just all started. 2000, whatever. I don't know what year that was, but and I'm like waiting for him. The wave was coming. He noticed they didn't. He said, "Sorry, I'm taking this one." And he got the next wave. He just got a really good ride. He got that one. So I go, okay, I'm going to get you back sometime.
Yeah.
And we ended up, we're in Porto Escondido. We had a heat, and I was on a roll and it was the quarterfinals. Lo and behold, I had Richo. Boom, he got me again. So I had to scratch my head again. So yeah, he's got me a few good times. I can't really remember getting him at all, but yeah, he's my good bro. He was there when I made the finals with Johnny Boy, the pipe, and I was hanging out with him on the beach. That's when they still had the houses, but I just set up camp with Richo, so he's still kind of my good luck charm, even though he took me out.
Took you out a couple.
But yeah, there's a bunch of good.
Memories there.
Yeah.
He holds you in the highest
regard. And he's a very good surfer. It's like right now.
Well, would you imagine? This may not be in the thing, but they have the Australian Surfing Hall of Fame, and Richo and Jim Banks aren't in it, but they're not even on the list of nominees. But say B. Durbridge is, and Graham Cassidy is. And people like Richo,
but you shouldn't be over here making this name against that name because my face is going to turn.
Busted. Okay. We'll chop that.
Yeah.
But that's it. I fought a little battle for Richo this year to get him just on the list.
Shouldn't even be a question.
Shouldn't even be a question. No. Can I tell you a little story about Richo? So I'm 13, 14. I'm truanting school to go to the Coca-Cola Surfabout that you're in, and I'm on the side of the road hitchhiking in my school uniform in Mossman, and a blue panel van comes up and pulls over and stops, and the window unwinds, and it's Mick McCormack there and Richo, and they look at me and go, "Where are you going, Gromit?" And I go, "I'm going to watch you, mate." And he says, "Jump in the back." And I, as a little kid, I jump in the back. I'm in amongst Richo's boards. I go to the comp. I hang out all day on the beach with him. He cleans the wax off with a Coca-Cola can, no wax combs yet, and uses the top of the Coca-Cola can. I was like, "Oh, take that in." You know? And he surfs his heats, and we drive. He drives me home on his way to Wollongong, drops me off on the side of the road where I was as a kid. So, he's like my dad. He's like my father figure, my dad, and he's there. But I know what he thinks of you. So I was stoked to get what you thought.
Thanks, man.
Then I have I heard a story of this year's Eddie. Well, maybe the one before. You'll tell me. Ross Clark-Jones is going to go out without flotation. You don't wear flotation either, ordinarily.
Well, I don't know how to use them. We don't. That's like I don't know how to use a few things, so I don't. Yeah.
No need.
I mean,
doesn't he say to you, look at you and say so, and you go, all right, and you take your flotation off as well, and then later on in the heat, you two are down getting caught by closeouts.
Yeah, he's
Tell
a character.
Tell me that story, Cody. He's a character.
He's great because he's like. I was going for this one. He goes, I'm going to catch one with you, and I'm thinking, not talking, going. I don't even know if I can catch one. What do you mean you're going to catch one with me? How do you know we're going to even catch one? Because it's that big this day. But yeah, he's a character. But he likes his big waves. And I watched him take a pounding. We both were taking a pounding. I came up and I looked on his side. He just had a big old smile still. But I was still trying to get to my board going, how's this guy? He's a character, but yeah, I love that guy, Ross. Yeah.
Oh no, that sounded like a classic situation. You talked about Mark Richards and Rabbit being, two of the best competitors and surfers of their time. How was having to compete? That was, I suppose, prime time from Australia. It would seem that early 70s was all about what? Reno, Barry Kanai-Pooney. You guys are younger, aren't you? You and Dane are that little bit younger than that early 70s crew?
Well, surfing against Mark Richards was really tough. So if you could avoid it, you were happy if you were on the other side of the draw. Because normally you'd come up against Mark and you wouldn't get through your heat. Because he was big, he was good, he was on twin fins. Even when he was on single fins, I don't remember, but I just know he came out with a flare and threw spray. I was little. I was on a single fin. You didn't get everything. If my only hope would be it'd be hollow and I could get barreled, like maybe Burley or stuff, but he'd still end up getting barreled and coming out and flaring up on us. So for Mark Richards, that one was hot and cold, and he was always hot. And so that was a tough one coming through him. Who was the other one we just mentioned?
Rab, you and
Rab. That one I always thought I could because we were both on single fins.
Yeah.
And we were buddies too, so I thought I could get him here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think I did too much, but that was another one. Yeah, those two guys are probably the hardest competitors to compete against.
And then Tom Carroll comes along.
And then Tom Carroll, of course. So he came along, then I had to give my brother a little shoulder bump, get these guys for me.
Yeah.
They were all taking me out now. So I had sicked my little brother on those guys. But Tom was a hard guy to beat. And probably if you had priority back in the day, Tom would have won a lot more. Because he was willing to be a gentleman and take turns and battle it out. And the only way I beat him was try to screw with him, get on his inside or that. He goes, little guy.
Kills you as charge.
That's the only way to beat Tom Carroll back then. I might have even got Shane Horan if they had a priority. Yeah. But if you had to comp to get on the inside of this, somehow he figured it out. He knew how to do that one, but yeah.
What about your local contemporaries, Dane Kealoha? Rest in peace.
Yeah,
incredible.
He's amazing. He came out of the woods. He just came out of nowhere because I was surfing with Mike Kealoha and then his brother Derek Kealoha. There's Dane Kealoha. So everybody surfed, and Dane came out strong. He came out when the twin fins. Right before the single fins. Randall Kim, rest in peace. Just saw the Town and Country came out strong. They came out in somehow South Africa. Martin Potter after that, but the Town and Country team came out strong when the twin fins were on. So you couldn't beat Dane in a small wave. You maybe get away and get him at places where he's on a single fin when we were all on single fins, but you couldn't beat the twin fins. We couldn't really beat him after a while, and I think Rabbit might have snuck over right towards the end of our career and just whipped a couple guys on him too.
He did. I remember that.
Yeah, and I didn't go. I didn't really go there. I couldn't really pull it off on the twins. I had this turn where they always slid out on me.
Especially in between the turns.
Yeah,
I never rode them. I skipped them too, singles to thrusters. Never rode 20s.
So gave us a new life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
Oh, that back fin made a big
Thank
difference.
you, Nate Fletch, for the quad. I went quad, Simon.
Yeah, you went there as well.
So I got a board from Nate Fletch. So it was a stretch. My first one, probably 2000, the year 2000. I never went back. I just played with quads, so that kind of kept me going. So from if it was just single fin, I wouldn't be at quad. I'd probably just be crying right now. From the thruster to the quad, I still got life. I'm still happy, and I'm gonna keep on playing with surfboards.
Yeah, that's like the perfect segue to. If I or anyone wants to be 66, 67, let's call it approaching 70 years of age and still on their game in their surfing, what's your advice? How have you done it? What have you done that keeps you young and keeps you doing what you do?
Probably doing a lot of paddling, because I do all my exercise in the ocean, not at a gym. I'm always in the ocean paddling. If there's current, I try to go surf places that aren't even that good, but I can figure out how to get a wave, get a couple laps in. And eating good is key. Eating good, drinking a lot of water, staying active, strong values, and probably keeps you healthy body, healthy mind.
What about, just quick, couple of Hawaii, I wanted to say Larry Bertlemann. What about his influence on surfing? What did you see go on?
Yeah, he was next level. He could do stuff left stance and right stance. He was spontaneous, so you wouldn't know what he was going to do. He was my partner. He was my sparring partner, and he taught me a lot. Ben Ipa was our shaper. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Forgot about that. And he was one of my main guys, and when I was young, to help me get boards and try to keep me in line. He was a good man.
Yeah. Amazing, all those influences and the people
Wow,
we've
yeah,
got to talk
I'm
about today.
glad.
Huh?
And if anybody I did forget, we're going to come back and get you in again.
That's how it always is. I always walk out from an interview like this going, I've got more questions than answers. So
we got time.
Yeah, and we'd love to have you back.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you do. I'm sure they all do. Thank you for opening and sharing, your life with us. And peoples, that's it for this episode of the Stoked Bloke Show. My honour and privilege to have the one and only Uncle Mike Ho.
You're the man, Barton.
Oh, mate.
Thank you, my bro.
Always been inspiring me a long time.
You inspire me, believe me.
Together, we're good. We're good. All right, peoples. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Aloha.